Is it too late to break into UX or product design? That's a question I keep hearing these days. A lot of people are saying that the space is saturated and breaking in is harder than ever. Yes, breaking in might not be as easy as it used to be, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible. If I were starting a product design or UX career in 2026, here's exactly what I'll do. Hey friends, welcome to the Nook. I am Grace Mary, a product designer with 4+ years of experience across startups and big tech. I know firsthand how overwhelming it can feel to figure out what to learn, where to start, or how to stand out. So if you are just starting out or even thinking about a switch to UX or product design, I have created this roadmap just for you. It contains everything that I wish someone had told me when I was figuring it all out. From what exactly UX or product design is, and if it's the best career path for you, to more practical tips like what skills and tools are required for the job and how to stand out in 2026. I have broken the roadmap down into 3 clear phases. You don't have to follow it perfectly, but each builds on the other. So phase 1 answers a question: is UX or product design really for you? Phase 2 covers the answer to what should I learn? And phase 3 then answers how do I get higher? Very important. So let's get into it. Phase 1, the decision phase. The first question is, what does a UX or product designer actually do? Let's tackle that first big question. Is product or UX design actually the right fit for you? But before you get started in Figma or signing up for bootcamp, it's important to understand what a product or UX designer actually does. Once you have a clear picture of the role, it will be easier to know if it matches the way you like to think and work. So let's break it down super simply. Imagine using an elevator. You press the button, the door opens, you step inside, you pick your floor, and it takes you there. Simple, right? You don't stop to think about how it works. You just expect it to respond smoothly. But what if the buttons weren't labeled clearly? Or what if the door open button actually closed it? Or if you pressed your floor number and nothing happened? No light, no feedback, and you weren't sure if it worked. You'd feel stuck, confused, or maybe a little bit annoyed. That frustration comes from bad design. Now, even though an elevator is a physical object, this exact same concept applies to digital products like apps, websites, or tools. If something isn't intuitive, users get frustrated or lost. And that's where UX and product designers come in. We design digital experiences to be just as effortless as using a well-designed elevator. Our job is to solve real problems for real people, making sure that the interaction feels natural, clear, and frustration-free, while ensuring that it meets the business goal. Whether it's deciding how an app looks, how it behaves, or even how one screen flows into the next, we are thinking about every little detail to make sure it just works. So if you're someone who notices when things feel clunky or gets excited about making everyday tools better, then UX or product design might just be your thing. A quick note: in this video, I'll be using UX and product design interchangeably, but they are not exactly the same. I'll touch lightly on the differences soon. And if you're curious to go deeper, I've linked a video where I explain it further, how designers fit into the big picture. So now that you have a sense of what product and UX designers actually do, let's zoom out for a second. Product design doesn't happen in isolation. You're part of a cross-functional product team, working together to build things that people want and need. Here is typically who you will collaborate with and how designers fit in. 1. Product manager. The PM helps to define what the team is building and why. They gather insight, align the business goals with user needs, and prioritize what should come next. As a designer, you work closely with PMs to understand the problem space, contribute to the solution, and make sure that the design aligns with the product goal. 2. Software engineers or developers. Software engineers and developers bring your design to life. They build and code the product, transforming your ideas into functional experiences. As a designer, your role is to collaborate with them early and often, ensuring that your concepts are feasible and that the final implementation aligns with design standards. 3. Researchers. Researchers are sometimes part of the design team. Researchers gather deep insight from users, what they need, what they are struggling with, and what their goals are. If you don't have a dedicated researcher, you might be doing some of this yourself as a designer through user interviews, usability tests, or survey. 4. Data analysts. These folks use data to help the team understand how users are behaving and what's not working or what is. Designers often partner with them to figure out where users are dropping off, what needs improving, or how to measure success. 5. Marketing and content teams. Marketing and content teams help tell the story of the product, both inside the app and in places like emails, websites, or ads. As a product designer, you will work with them to make sure everything feels connected. So where do you fit in as a designer? You are at the intersection of the user's need, business goals, and technical feasibility. You are translating complex problems into simple, usable, delightful experiences and collaborating with everyone along the way to bring these experiences to life. So now that we've seen how product designers fit into the bigger picture, let's get into the real question. Is product design or design in general the right path for you? Here's the thing. Design isn't just one role. There are many specializations, and depending on your interests, strengths, and personality, you might gravitate naturally towards one over the other. Here are some of the core roles within the product design space. UX designer. If you are someone who enjoys understanding people, solving real problems, and making sure things work well, UX might be your lane. You will be focused on flows, structures, usability, and how users interact with the product to reach their goal. UI designer. If you have an eye for visuals and love working with colors, typography, layouts, and visual hierarchy, UI design could be a perfect fit. You'll be making sure that things not only function well, but that they look great and they feel cohesive. Product designer. If you enjoy both UX and UI, then product design offers a solid middle ground. You get to work end-to-end, research, wireframes, visual designs, and sometimes even testing. Interaction designer. Are you fascinated by motions, transitions, and how things feel when you click or tap? If yes, interaction design might be your thing. You will focus on prototyping and designing how elements respond to user actions. Think animation, feedback, and transition. UX researcher. If you love asking questions, digging into data, talking to users, and uncovering patterns, UX research is a great fit. Researchers work closely with designers and product managers to inform design decisions through real-world insights. Design engineer or front-end designer. If you love both design and code, and you enjoy bringing polished design to life in the browser or app, this hybrid role could be your perfect fit. You live at the intersection of visual design and development. Growth designer. Love experiments, data, and moving fast? Growth design could be your path. This role focuses on driving user acquisition, engagement, or retention, often by rapidly testing new ideas and iterating based on results. Design system designer. If you are the type who loves organization, consistency, and building systems that others can reuse, like component libraries, styles, and tokens, then this might be your niche. Content design. Content designers focus on the words that guide users through a digital experience. Think of things like button labels, error messaging, onboarding copy, and frequently asked questions. All the little bits of the text that help you do something or understand the context in an app or a website. That's for content designers. So if you are that kind of person who enjoys simplifying complex ideas or thinking about how words shape users' experience, content design is a solid path to explore. Our focus here is UX and product design, but taking a step back and looking at the wider design ecosystem can help you decide where you fit naturally. You don't have to pick one right away. As you explore, your path will become clearer. And remember, many of these roles overlap. Career mapping. This is especially important if you're switching career path. Let's say you've decided you want to be a product designer. Awesome! Next step I recommend is something I call career mapping. This is super helpful if you're coming from a different background like I did. Product design involves lots of different skills. So even if you've studied something totally different like art, business, psychology, or engineering, you probably already have some transferable skills. Now it's about identifying them and building on them. Here's how you can start mapping your path. 1. Research job listing. Go online and find 3 or 4 job listings for product design or UX design. Look at what skills they want. This can be soft skills like teamwork, empathy, communication, or technical skills like using Figma, creating wireframes, doing user research. 2. Ask ChatGPT for help. Paste the job descriptions into ChatGPT or any LLM of your choice and ask, what are the top soft and hard skills listed here? 3. Make a Venn diagram. Draw 2 circles that overlap in the middle. In the left circle, write down the main product design skills from your research. In the right circle, list your own skills from school, part-time jobs, volunteering, or hobbies. In the middle, where the circles overlap, you want to put skills that you already have that is required in product design. That's your starting point. Here's why this helps. This activity helps you to see clearly what you're already good at and what skills you need to learn or practice next. It's a simple way to plan your next steps and feel more confident about starting a new path. Here's an optional tool, which is called the Career Odyssey. It's a reflective exercise that helps you map your values, strengths, and interests to potential career paths. You can search for it online or try it out if you want to explore more deeply. So I've been sharing a lot of knowledge so far, and some of us may already feel overwhelmed by it. And if you would love for me to have a conversation with you, a one-on-one chat with you, feel free to click on the link in the description and book a one-on-one where I can help guide and support you in the way that is customized to your need. Phase 2, the learning phase. Now that you decided to pursue product or UX design, the next question is, what do I learn? This is your learning phase, or as I like to call it, your attack plan. And here's the first thing I'll say. Don't start with Figma. So that's what everyone seems to think of first when they hear UX or product design. Don't get me wrong, Figma is a fantastic tool and you'll need it, but not just now. Or here's where you should begin. Think of it like this. Imagine you are building a house. You wouldn't start with the curtains or the wall colors. You start with the foundation, which holds everything else up. That's the same thing here. If you only know how to make things look good in Figma, but you don't understand the reason behind the decisions, then your designs won't solve any real problem. They'll just look good on the surface, and that's it. The foundation. Start with the foundations. Let's break it down into key learning categories that will build your core design thinking and skills. 1. UX principle, the why. These are the guiding rules that help you create experiences that are usable and useful. Understanding these principles is the first step towards intentional user-centered design. 2. UX design patterns. These are reusable solutions to common user problems, like how people expect menus, search bars, or buttons to work. You can use resources like Apple's Human Interface Guideline or Google's Material Design to follow best practices and create familiar, user-friendly design. 3. Visual design principles, the how it looks. Start learning basic UI concepts alongside UX. These include visual hierarchy, spacing, layout, typography, color theory. I recommend doing regular practice with visual design challenges. You can check out 100 Days of UI, Sharpen. Links to all these resources and more are included in the full written roadmap. So if you like a copy sent straight to your inbox, just check the description for the link. Usability heuristics. These are best practice rules from experts like Jacob Nielsen that help you evaluate whether your design is usable. They cover things like visibility of system status, error prevention, user control, and freedom. These are essential for building interfaces that make sense. Information architecture, IA. IA is how you organize and label content. Think of it like the sitemap or menu structure of a website. Here's a simple example. Say you are on a clothing website. Under the dresses menu, you would see party dresses, work dresses, summer dresses. Dresses is the parent, the other are the children. IA helps make sure that the structure makes sense to your users. User research. This is crucial. Before designing anything, you need to understand who you are designing for, what problems they are facing, and what their goals and motivations are. Research helps you move from guessing to designing with clarity. Common methods include discovery calls, surveys, observation of field study, wireframing, and prototyping. Wireframes are low-fidelity sketches or layouts that help you structure the interface before diving into visuals. Prototypes bring those ideas to life and allow for testing interactions. You eventually use tools like Figma, Balsamiq, or even pen and paper for this. Interaction design. This covers how users interact with your product, animations, transition, button states, and more. Learning micro interactions and motion design can bring polish and joy to your product experience. Accessibility. In 2026, accessibility is non-negotiable. Designing for accessibility means ensuring that everyone, including people with disability, can use your product. Some key considerations here are proper color contrast, keyboard navigation, and screen reader support. Understand the business goals. At the end of the day, you are designing not just for users, but also for business outcomes. The product needs to solve user problems and drive adoption, engagement, retention, or revenue. So always align your design thinking with your strategy. Now let's go into the trends. It's great that we've covered the foundation, but here's the key. Don't stop here. Learning the basics is essential, but in 2026, that's just the starting point. To truly stand out and land opportunities, you need to go beyond the fundamentals and start tuning into where design is heading. One of the biggest changes that we are seeing is that AI is no longer optional. It's becoming deeply integrated into how we design. To stay competitive, it's important to understand how AI works in the design space. Here are a few types you will likely run into. Large language models, LLMs, tools like ChatGPT that can understand and generate text. Recommendation system, the tech behind suggestions on platforms like YouTube, Netflix, or Spotify. Generative AI, tools that can create images, text, or even interface design from simple prompts. Voice AI, think Alexa or Siri. Designers now create voice-based experiences using AI and machine learning. Learn the tools. Now that you know the basics and understand the trends shaping product design in 2026, it's time for the next step, learning the tools. And when I say tools, that's simple. The number one tool you need to know right now is Figma. In the past, Adobe XD was a common alternative, and it's still the second most popular design tool. But here's my hot take. Don't spend your time learning Adobe XD because very few companies use it today. It's losing its relevance fast, and your time is better spent mastering a tool that is actually in demand. Figma is the current industry standard. It's used by everyone from small startups to major tech companies. So if you want to work in product design, this is a tool to know. In my opinion, the only way to learn Figma is by using it. So don't just sit back and watch tutorials. Open the app, start clicking around and build something, even if it's messy at first. That's how you build real confidence. Where to learn Figma? If you're just getting started, there are some amazing resources out there to help you build confidence and learn quickly. The first one I recommend is Figma's own YouTube channel. It's a great starting point with step-by-step tutorials that can walk you through the basics and beyond. Also try Miss School, a study channel if you want to level up your visual design skills and learn how to think like a UI designer. And then there's Bring Your Own Laptop. This is perfect for beginners. Their tutorials are very detailed, hands-on, and they'll walk you through designing full interfaces from scratch. Here's a pro tip. As you practice in Figma, be sure to apply the visual design principles you've learned, like spacing, alignment, typography, and visual hierarchy. So what other tools should you know? Once you're comfortable with the design foundations and Figma, it's time to explore the wider toolkit that supports modern product design. Figma's whiteboarding tool. It's super helpful for brainstorming, user flows, and collaboration. Miro is a strong alternative to Figma, especially for those that like journey mapping, workshops, and ideation sessions. Maze and user interview. These are great for user research, finding participants, running tests, and gathering feedback. Mobbins. This isn't a tool you need to learn, but it's a great resource to find real-world design inspiration. Here's a bonus. While almost essential in the early days of design, getting familiar with project management tools like Jira or Airtable can give you an extra edge when it comes to the time for applying for jobs. So you've learned the foundations. You are now aware of trends and you have even started integrating AI into your workflow. Now what? Solve real-world problems. This is where things start to get exciting. The truth is, a few years ago, you could just put together a couple of dummy projects and redesigns and you land a role. But in 2026, the space is also highly competitive, and doing just the bare minimum isn't going to cut it. What sets you apart now is having real-world projects that you put in your portfolio. Something that shows how you thought through the actual problems, collaborated with real people, and created impact. We'll talk more about how to build your portfolio later, but let's be realistic. Not everyone has access to live projects from the start, and that's okay. So here's what I recommend. Starting with redesigns. Start small. That might mean starting with redesigns, even though I personally have a bit of a bias against them. The reason for my bias is that most redesigns are done without understanding the business goals, the user pain points, or the underlying context. But if you approach a redesign with proper user research, interviews, usability testing, and clear rationale, it becomes more than just a visual exercise. It becomes a real case study. So that's where you need to begin. Leverage your network. Next, start tapping into your personal network. Let your friends, family, or even local business owners know what you're doing. You'll be surprised how many people are looking to build websites, apps, or improve their digital presence and are willing to let you help them. That's how I personally got started. My sister gave me one of my first real projects. She barely paid me, but I didn't care because I got a live product in my portfolio, and that was invaluable. Seek volunteering opportunities. Another option is to volunteer. There are platforms and non-profits like Charity Village and Catch a Fire, where you can offer your design services for free in exchange for real-world experience. Just make sure you are clear from the beginning that you would like to showcase this project in your portfolio. And the reason for this is so that you're not bound to NDAs or restrictions later on. Hackathons and design challenges. If you want to push your skills even further, look into hackathons and design challenges. These are amazing for collaborating with other designers and developers. I love it because you'll be working under time restrictions, practicing real-world problem solving with constraints, and thinking like a product designer in a team environment. There are tons of platforms that host these regularly. One I can think of off the top of my head is design bodies. Feel free to do your own research and join a few and commit to completing them. Anything that forces you to think and act like a designer is where you want to be putting your energy right now. Show your work. Something I recommend, and I cannot stress this enough, is show your work. There's a book I love that talks about this. It is called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. It's a super short read and you could finish it in a day or even over a weekend. The message is powerful, which is share what you're working on, even if it's not perfect. And that's exactly what I'm asking you to do here. Sharing helps you grow your confidence. It helps you document your journey. And most importantly, it positions you in a way that invites community and feedback. I know it can be scary. You might be thinking, I do not want to put half-baked designs out on social media. But hear me out. Instead of presenting yourself as an expert, simply say this. Hi, I'm learning product design. Here is my first UI concept. Any feedback is welcome. That's it. You're inviting others into your journey, and that vulnerability builds trust. It builds growth. Here are a few places you can share your work. LinkedIn, especially for networking and visibility within the industry. Medium, if you are more into writing and extending your process. A personal site, if you are feeling ambitious and you want to own your space online. Other social media platforms like Twitter or YouTube are also options. I've seen it firsthand with people that I've mentored. Some landed roles simply because they documented their journey publicly. Recruiters and hiring managers took notice. Get feedback. Now, let's talk about something that is just as important. Get feedback, because if you're building in a vacuum, you'll hit a plateau. You need other perspectives to grow. One great way to get feedback is to use platforms like adplist.org. It connects you with experienced mentors around the world who can give you real, valuable input on your work. Leverage that and ask for feedback. It speeds up your learning by exposing you to expert-level thinking early on. But here's a crucial mindset shift. Feedback is subjective. Good design is grounded in principles, but feedback is often filtered through personal preferences and experiences. One person might say, you should do X. Another person might say, try Y. It's your job to process the feedback through the lens of your project goal, your users' needs, and your constraint. A helpful framework I like to use to prioritize feedback is by categorizing them into must do or blocker, consider, and decline. Must do or blocker. This feedback points out clear usability or accessibility issues, so you should implement it. Consider. This is an idea or suggestion that might improve your design. Test it or explore it. Decline. If it doesn't align with your goals or context, it's okay to say no. Just be intentional about it. Remember, you don't need to apply every piece of feedback. Well, you need to listen, process, and make thoughtful decisions. Practice talking about your work. One thing you'll quickly realize as a product designer is that defending your design decision is a big part of the job. It's not enough to design something great. You also need to communicate why it's great. And that means learning storytelling and clear communication. This is where showing your work becomes even more valuable. It's not just about feedback. It's your chance to explain your thinking, share your reasoning, and demonstrate growth. A book that I recommend in this regard is Articulating Design Decisions by Tom Graver. Soft skill. Now let's talk about the soft skills you need to thrive in product design. Strong communication. Strong communication and presentation skills are essential. You need to clearly explain your design choices, pitch ideas to stakeholders, present confidently to teams and leadership, and give and receive feedback in a constructive, professional way. Collaboration. Design is rarely a solo effort. You work closely with engineers, product managers, and other team members. Knowing how to communicate across disciplines, collaborate effectively, and compromise when needed is essential to building great product. Product thinking. Product thinking is what separates good designers from great ones. It's not just about asking, does this look good? It's about asking, does this solve a real user problem? Is this aligned with the business goal? Will this drive the outcome we are aiming for? Great product designers think in 3 dimensions: users, business, and outcome. Empathy. This is at the core of design. If you can't put yourself in the user's shoes, you can't solve their problem. But beyond empathy, great designers become users' advocates. They defend users' needs when no one else in the room will. Critical thinking. You will face trade-offs and ambiguity daily. Being able to break down problems, access multiple solutions, and choose the most effective path is key. Lifelong learning. Product design is ever evolving. New tools, new trends, new user behaviors. You need to be comfortable with not knowing everything and being willing to Google, ask questions, and figure it out as you go. I still do it, so you will too. Business and strategic thinking. As you grow in your career, you will need to think beyond the screens. It's no longer just what does the user want, it's also how does this help the business thrive? To build the skills, start exploring strategy, but don't jump into the deep end just yet. Workshop facilitation. A final but important soft skill you need is workshop facilitation. This is something you get better at by doing and doing often. Running workshops is a huge part of the job when collaborating with teams, stakeholders, and even users. Whether it's for brainstorming, alignment, or ideation, your ability to lead and structure a session mattered. You could start with Crazy 8s, which is a fun, fast-paced method for idea generation. I have a video that walks through how to run a Crazy 8 workshop, and I'll link it here. So go ahead and watch that. It will give you a solid starting point. But just know, like most things in product design, this is something you will refine on the go. Learn the language of product design. Just like a doctor wouldn't say, you've got a red eye, they'll say you've got conjunctivitis. Product designers use specific terms that convey clarity, confidence, and professionalism. And the truth is, speaking the language helps you feel like you belong, especially when breaking into tech. You'll also hear a lot of corporate lingo once you're in the role. And that's something you pick up naturally over time. But getting comfortable with design-specific terminology upfront will give you an edge. A while back, I started a series called The A to Z of Product Design, and it was born out of the simple realization that using the right words changes how you are perceived. I'll encourage you to watch the series. And with that, we've officially reached the end of phase 2. You've learned the foundational skills, the trends shaping the future, how to integrate AI into your workflow, the tools and platforms to use, how to solve real-world problems, why and how to show your work, the essential soft skills from storytelling to strategy, and finally, how to speak like a product designer. Now it's time to step into phase 3. Phase 3, job hunt phase. Now let's get real. How do you land your first product design job? This is where the rubber meets the road. In this phase, we'll explore the design assets you need, how to use networking as a job hunting strategy, and tips for interview preparation. Let's dive in. Design job hunt asset. You need to focus on 3 key assets: your resume, portfolio, and presentation deck. Let's break it down. Resume. Your resume is one of the most important tools in your job search. It should clearly show who you are, what you've done, and what you are good at. The goal is to help potential employers quickly see the value you bring to their team. I've made a full video where I walk through exactly how to build a strong product design resume, including how to use ChatGPT to make the process easier. I'll link it below. But here's a quick summary of what your resume should include. Contact information includes your name, email, phone number, and general location, so city and countries, Professional summary. This is a short, clear statement at the top that highlights your strengths and uses words from the job posting. Think of it as your elevator pitch. Skills. List tools you know, like Figma or Notion, your soft skills like communication or collaboration, and your main area of expertise like UX or prototyping. Experience. Include any real-world project, even freelance, internships, or volunteer work. Focus on what you did and what the outcome were. Education and certification. Add your degrees, courses, or any certificates you've earned that are relevant to design. Portfolio link. Always include a link to your design portfolio. This is where employers can see your work in detail. Keep your resume short and simple. Make it one page. If you have years of experience, it's okay to go up to 2 pages, but not more. Recruiters only spend a few seconds scanning each resume, so it's easy for them to find the most important information. Pro tip: create 2 versions of your resume. One should be ATS friendly. This version is plain and simple. It's meant for online applications where softwares called applicant tracking systems or ATS scans your resume for keywords. Do not use fancy designs, graphic, or font. Now, the second resume to create is the visual or creative resume. This version can reflect your design style and personality. It's great for sharing in creative settings or posting on your portfolio site, but don't use this one for online forms. Stick to the plain version for that. A well-made resume helps you stand out. Take your time, tailor it for each job, and make sure it shows the best of what you have to offer. Portfolio. The portfolio is the most important tool you have as a new designer. It should include real-world project case studies, clear storytelling, your design process and decisions, and your outcomes and impact. Also, don't forget to include the resume link in the portfolio. Make it easy for recruiters to find and click. Remember, your portfolio is a design project too. That means it should be easy to use, simple to navigate, clear and well organized. And like any design project, you should get feedback and improve it over time. I won't go into all the details here because I have a full video that covers common portfolio mistakes and how to fix them. I really recommend watching it. It will save you time and help you stand out. Presentation deck. Although a presentation deck isn't needed before you apply for the job, once you get to the interview stages, you need to show your work in the interview. Feel free to prioritize your portfolio and resume. A big mistake that early career designers make is to share their work in an interview using their portfolio. I have done it before, and this is a no-no. Instead, create a deck that highlights your work and thought process. You might be wondering, how is this different from my portfolio? This is the presentation deck you will use during the design interviews, especially for portfolio walkthroughs. It's a slide version of 1 or 2 case studies where you walk interviewers through your process, challenges, and results. Think of it like a storytelling version of your project. You need this prepared before the interviews start. I have a full video that breaks down the UX interview process, including where this deck fits in, and I'll link that too. Now that your job hunt assets are in place, let's shift our focus to landing interview. Networking as a job hunt strategy. Traditionally, people apply for a job by finding a listing on the job board and submitting an application. But with so much competition, standing out requires a more strategic approach. To increase your visibility and attract opportunities, consider the following. Leverage your network with LinkedIn. Your network is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Platforms like LinkedIn aren't just for scrolling. They are built for visibility, connection, and opportunity. As a world's largest professional network, LinkedIn is where recruiters and hiring managers go to find talent. That's why having a strong presence is essential. Think of LinkedIn as your public resume. portfolio, and professional community all rolled into one. Using LinkedIn effectively. Start by optimizing your profile. Make sure your profile reflects who you are and what you bring to the table. Here are some tips to strengthen your presence. Use a clear professional photo. Then write a compelling headline and about section. Highlight your journey, skills, and relevant projects. To get the most out of LinkedIn, go beyond just having a profile. Be active, engage consistently, comment on posts, share your perspective, and join conversations. Post about your journey, even simple progress updates like what I learned about product design or product thinking this week. These signals growth and commitment. Craft thoughtful connection requests and post captions that reflect your voice and goals. Pro tip: use tools like ChatGPT to make it easier. By showing up intentionally and sharing your journey, you increase your visibility and you never know who might just be watching. Here's a tip for new immigrants. Let's say you've moved from a new country, for example, from Nigeria to the UK or Canada. Here's something important to know. LinkedIn's algorithm tailors your experience based on your location and network. If your connections are still tied to your previous country, you may not appear in local search results or recommendations. To fix this, update your location, follow and connect with professionals in your new region, engage with content from local companies and communities. This helps reposition you in the algorithm and makes your profile more discoverable to local opportunities. Another strategy to consider is focus on coffee chat, not just code application. Sometimes the best opportunities come from conversations, not just job board. Use platforms like adplist.org or even LinkedIn to reach out to people working at companies you admire. Ask for 15 minutes chat. Be curious, not transactional. Learn about their journey, their company, and share yours too. Many opportunities come through relationships, and I can testify because that's one of the ways that I got this job that I currently have. Applying directly through a job board can often feel like sending your resume into a black hole. A referral, however, can give you a real edge. Companies trust recommendations from their employee, and referred candidates are often fast-tracked through the hiring process. Apply intentionally, not desperately. It's easy to fall into the trap of applying to every open role just in case. My advice is to aim for a thoughtful balance. Apply widely enough to stay open to opportunities, but selectively enough that your portfolio genuinely fits the role. Be intentional. Apply for roles where your portfolio speaks to the job description. Tailor your resume and case studies accordingly. Always ask, why this company? And make sure your application answers that. Be ready for the interview process. You've done the groundwork. Now it's about connecting the dots between your skill set and the right opportunity and showing up ready when they come. Prepare for interview opportunities by understanding the format. Most product design interviews include portfolio walkthroughs, design challenges, or whiteboard or take-home assignments, behavioral questions, design critiques, or collaboration exercises. I highly recommend reading this book, Solving Product Design Exercises, Questions and Answers by Artyom Danshinsky. It gives a real practical understanding of what to expect. I still have a copy in my personal library that I use as a resource. Also, practice talking about your process. Rehearse your case study like stories with context, constraints, decisions, and results. Review common design task format. Another great resource that would be helpful in this stage is Google Interview Warm-Up. This is a free tool provided by Google for interview practice in various areas, including UX design. Here are some websites that you can search for design roles aside LinkedIn. Idea Club. Some jobs are gated behind a paywall, but they have like really good jobs for beginner or entry level. Charity Village, Dribble, Remote Rocket Ship, We Work Remotely, Indeed, Remote OK, Working Normal, Idea Design, Authentic Job, Just Remote. In short, this phase is about positioning, visibility, and preparation. I know this was a long video and it came with a lot of recommendations. So if you prefer something more actionable, I've created a checklist for you. Just check the link in the description to download it. It includes everything that we've discussed. I share even more resources on my Instagram and TikTok, so follow me there if you want to stay updated with fresh tools and learning path. Your path might look different by location, by company type, or by personal goals, and that's totally okay. The roadmap I've shared is just a solid starting point. Take what serves you, skip what doesn't, and trust that you will grow as you go. I'm rooting for you.